NSJT, no secrets, just truth. Jezreel Emil Kavan. Today we talk about the 7 nations unfolded before God. The 7 nations, the 7 groups of people, how we are divided spiritually into nations. It said all birds of a feather shall flock together. We look at ourselves as if we are different, but we are grouped into 7 nations under the order of God. The first nation, he says, there are words, these are the words of him who holds the 7 stars in his right hand and walks among the 7 golden lampstands. I know your deeds and your hard work, your perseverance. I know that you cannot tolerate wicked men, that you have tested those who claim to be apostles, and but are not, and found them false. You have persevered and endured hardship for my name, and have not grown weary. Yet I hold this against you. You have forsaken your first love. Remember the height of which you have fallen. Repent and do not do the things you did at first. If you do not repent, I will come to you and remove your lampstand from its place. But you have this in your favor. You hate the practice of Nicolaitans, which I also hate. So he's telling them that he loves them for despising wicked men and understanding the false teachers and false apostles and false preachers, but they have forgotten their first love. They've forgotten what inspired them to do what they have done in the first place. They have forgotten what it's like to be upon the battlefield of the Lord, that they must return back into the battle. Sometimes we have been blessed so much that we forget that we're fighting the enemy each and every day, because we have been so blessed that we have forgotten that there are also others out there that is not as blessed as we are, that we are the dividing rod between whether these people find salvation or lose their way. To the second nation, he says, these are the words from him who was first and last, who died and came to life again. I know your afflictions and your poverty, yet you are rich. I know the slander of those who say they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. Be not afraid of what you're about to suffer. I tell you, the devil will put some of you in prison to test you, and you will suffer persecution for 10 days. Be faithful even to the point of death, and I will give you the crown of life. He's telling this nation that the rest of the world may look at them and say that they are poor and that they live in poverty, but yet they are rich in the eyes of God, that they will be put to test by the synagogue of Satan, that they will suffer because of what they believe in, that they have held on to his word. To the third nation, he says, these are the words of him who has a sharp double-edged sword. I know where you live, where Satan has his throne. Yet you remain true to my name and did not renounce your faith in me, even in the days of Antipas, my faithful witness, who was put to death in your city where Satan lives. Nevertheless, I have a few things against you. You have people there who hold on to the teachings of the evil of the devil, who taught the darkness to entice the Israelites to sin, eating food sacrificed to idols, by committing sexual immorality. Likewise, you have also have those who hold on to the teachings of the Nicolaitans. Repent therefore, otherwise I will soon come to you, and you will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. So he said to them that they have stood remain true to his name, but at the same time, they have allowed the darkness to seep in. They have allowed the teachings of the false preachers and the false teachers to seep in and allow them to take part into the sexual immorality, and to take part in worshiping idols and sacrificing the idols, and allowing these false teachers to preach among them. To the fourth nation, he says, these are the words of the Son of God, whose eyes are blazing like fire, whose feet are burnished like bronze. I know your deeds, your love and faith, your service, perseverance, and that you are now doing more than you did at first. Nevertheless, I have this against you. You tolerate that Jezebel woman, who calls herself a prophetess. By her teaching, she mislead my servants into sexual immorality and eating food sacrificed to idols. I have given her time to repent of her immorality, but she is unwilling. So I will cast on to her a bed of suffering. I will make those who have committed adultery with her suffer intensely unless they repent of her ways. I will strike her children dead. Then all the churches will know that I am he who searches hearts and minds, and I will repay each of you according to your deeds. Now I say to the rest of you who do not hold to her teachings and have not learned Satan's so-called deep secrets, I will not impose another burden on you. Only hold on to what you have until I come. So he says to this nation that they have fallen for the Jezebel and her teachings, that she is a false prophetess walking among them, offering them knowledge and secret teachings of the devil, and yet have not received the blessings that they have supposed to receive, only because they have laid in the bed and committed adultery with her. And what that means is that they have understood that her ways is the ways of the world. The ways of the world will get you lost, because you're so busy trying to figure out the world and how to fit into the world and be popular and be just like them. You lose your identity. And once you lose your identity, you can't find your way. But he says to them, he knows their heart. They have been doing more than what they have been doing before. And he loves that about them. And he says to them, do not hold to her teachings and have not learned Satan's so-called deep secrets. So he will not impose any burden upon them. They just gotta hold on until the end. And he says to the next nation, these are the words of him who holds the seven spirits of God and the seven stars. I know your deeds. You have a reputation of being alive, but you are dead. Wake up and strengthen what remains and is about to die. For I have not found your deeds complete in the sight of my God. Remember therefore that what you have received and heard, obey it and repent. But if not, you do not wake up. I will come like a thief, and you will not know at what time I will come to you. Yet you have a few people in the nation who have not soiled their clothes. They walk with me, they dress in white, and they are worthy. So he's telling this nation that they need to wake up. They call themselves alive, but they are dead. They are in complete service of the enemy. They are in complete obedience to the enemy, but not all of them. But they need to wake up and repent. He will come like a thief in the night. He says there are few that have not soiled their clothes, who have not rolled around in the pits of despair with the rest of them, who have not made themselves so diminished in capacity that they are like the rest of the nation. And we move on to the next nation, the sixth nation. These are the words of him who is holy and true, who holds the key of David. What he opened, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open. I know your deeds, and see, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. I will make those who are of the synagogue of Satan, who claim to be Jews, though they are not, but are liars, I will make them come and fall down at your feet and acknowledge that I have loved you. Since you have kept my commandments to endure patiently, I will also keep you from the hour of trial that is going to come upon the whole world to test those who live on earth. I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have so that no one can take your crown. He says to his nation that he knows them. He knows what little strength they have left, and he reminded them the power and the authority is still within him. That what he opens, no man can shut, and what he shut, no man can open. That means he who did not create you cannot destroy you, no matter what words they use, no matter what weapons they try to create, no matter what manner of suffering they try to bring upon you. They cannot succeed because you were born with the birthright to be in the children of destiny, in the age of children of destiny, in the generation of children of destiny, that you are the illuminated ones. You are a part of the 144,000 that shall receive the seal of God and the white robes. And he says to the last nation, these are the words of the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the ruler of God's creation. I know your deeds and what you are, neither cold nor hot. I wish you were either one. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I'm about to spit you out my mouth. You say I am rich, and I have acquired wealth, and do not need a thing. But you did not realize that you were wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. I counsel you to buy from me gold refined in the fire, so that you can become rich, and the white clothes to wear, so that you can cover your shameful nakedness, and salve to put on your eyes so that you can see. Those whom I love, I rebuke and discipline. So be earnest and repent. Here I am, I stand at the door knocking. If anyone hears my voice, open the door, and I will come in and eat with him and him with me. So he said to them, you may have all the riches of the world that you can possibly imagine. You may feel that you are on top of the world. You have people idolizing you and worshiping you as if you are the greatest among all of the creations, that you are the best, that you are the number one, that you are the pop star, the superstar, the athlete, the singer, the well-to-do, but what you really are is wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. That you are just as Adam and Eve was when they bit into the apple, realizing that they had become naked. But they was not truly naked. They was in a form of divinity that was beautiful in the midst of God's eyes. God does amazing. God doesn't create anything that cannot overachieve even the simplest task. See, he gives us and unfolds before us the seven nations and allows us to see that these are the things that he holds against us. These are the things that he sees in us. We are divided in seven. Seven is his number. And you see that all through Revelation, where he begins to divide all things into seven. The true holy parts of God is in sevens. The seven lampstands, the seven angels, the seven seals, the seven lampstands, the seven nations. God is trying to tell us that it's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to see who we are. He's reminding us that only the Lamb who has sacrificed himself is worthy enough to tell us of our destiny. So he told John of these things so that he can deliver this message unto the seven churches. And the seven churches is the seven nations of God who call themselves Jews, but they are not. Who call themselves worshipers of God, but are not. Who call themselves righteous in his name, but are not. And that there are but a few that know his name. There are but a few that know his calling card and answers upon that calling card. There are a few who are holding on to the end of judgment. Holding on to the end of what is prophetically told to happen. Now you have to understand that we have gone through Ezekiel, we have gone through Daniel, we have gone through Moses, we have gone through all the characters of the Bible, and we are now at the end in Revelations, and he's finally telling us that he sees us in sevens. He sees us in this direction. He sees some of us playing around and toiling around with immorality and idols. He sees some of us hate the demons and the evil and the enemies of God. He sees some of us still wanting to be a part of the community of the world and not really being a part of the community of God. He is laying out to us our direction and our path. He is forewarning us that we must not be lukewarm, that we need to either be hot or cold, so that when he judges us fairly, because if we're neither hot nor cold, how can he judge us? Then if we're wearing out piece by piece, and the Lord doesn't want to weigh out your life piece by piece, he wants to look upon you and see your heart and mind in one piece. He wants to see you worthy of his love, worthy of his gifts and his tributes unto his people. For when he comes with great tributes. It is said that the angels of the Most High shall kneel before man, because it is man who has been tested from the day Adam and Eve ate the apple until the end, holding on to the simple teachings of the Father. See, Jesus is reminding John that we are supposed to be turning towards the Father, that he is our first love, that he is our greatest task, is to learn and love and be disciplined by our Father. There is nothing wrong with being disciplined by the Father. There is nothing wrong with being held by the Father in love. There's nothing wrong with being loved by the world. But when you're being loved by the world because you're doing the things that they're doing, then you're not truly loved at all. what you're selling for is temporary affection, when God says, my love is eternal, my love is immortal, it cannot be broken. It's the reason why he says that what he opens, no man can shut, and what he shut, no man can open, because it is that gateway, that heart of man, that is the gateway between the eternal Father, who is forever, and the rest of the world. We cannot turn around now. We cannot turn our backs on the power of God. We have come too far. You must look at the 7 nations for yourself in the book of Revelations and ask yourself, where do I fit in? Have I given up on my first love? The passion of believing in God and understanding that all of my blessings come from God. Have I been listening to the world too much and have given up part of myself to be a part of the world? Or am I truly dependent on God for everything? Are you a servant of God or a child of God? See, a child of God depends on God for every single thing that he gives unto us. Just like the temptations when Jesus was tempted by the devil and turned the mountain into a loaf of bread. He said, man does not live on bread alone, but from each word from the lips of the mouth of God. That's how you know you're a child of God, is when every word is nourishment to your soul, that every word becomes the hidden mania of heaven. When you are a servant, it reminds you that God is like your father. He has raised you and given you everything you can possibly imagine. He has brought you out. He has saved your soul. He has changed your life. He has given you and put you on the right course, the right path forward. And you become a servant because you want to be in that position to pay back your father. Well, Dad, you did this for me. Well, you put me through college, Dad. Well, Dad, you bought me my first car. Well, Dad, my high school graduation, you got me this gift, Dad. And Dad, you've been putting clothes on my back for 18 years, Dad. And you've been putting food in my mouth for 18 years, Dad. It's my turn to take you out to dinner, Dad. It's my turn to worship you on Father's Day. It's my turn to acknowledge you as the greatest force in my life. You have made me into a man, Dad. Let me show you the man that you have made me. You then become a servant when you are willing to allow yourselves to repay back what you have taken out. Friendship and servitude. You are friends with the person that you love the most because they have not only overextended themselves to you in a time of need and crisis, but they were there when you weren't even in need and crisis. They offer love and cherishment so that you could feel the understanding that you were born with a purpose. You were born with a power, that you were gifted and adorned from the day you were created, from the time that the sperm met the egg. So we become servants of our friends. We become servants of our brothers and our sisters when we realize that we go through life together and that there's no greater love than loving each other and holding each other down and protecting each other against the storms that may come against us in life. See, as I said before, I had a troubled upbringing. I had it rough. I don't understand the saying honor thy mother and thy father, because I can't say that, because thy mother and father were corrupt and they didn't do anything. But I understand what it means when the Lord says, do not encroach upon the valley of the motherless and the fatherless, because he becomes both half to those children. he becomes both halves so that they may succeed and thrive as the rest of the children that's growing up with a mother and a father. That they are not abandoned, but they are lifted up upon wings of eagles of the Most High. I understand what he means when he says that he leads us through the valley of death, and that we do not worry, we do not fear, we rejoice because he leaded us by still waters. We have to begin reading and understanding what the Lord is telling us in the Spirit and not just in the words. They say, well, this is 2,000 years old, this is 3,000 years old. This was written 500 years after Jesus had passed away. This was written 1,000 years after Jesus was gone. You have to look at these were people at the time. This is what they were feeling. This is what the God they knew revealed unto them. Then we have to amplify it because we live in the 21st century. So when they saw these visions and they saw these elements of things that they could not explain, we have to go in and go back in and re-evaluate it and explain it. We have to get ourselves repositioned to understand that what the Word of God is saying is there. First, that the law is there. Then that the intent of the law is there. Then the willing to follow the intent of the law is there. And finally, acting upon the intent of the law. See, they won't tell you that. And it's the reason why I say that our generation is a generation of great power and great strength. It's the reason why I say do not cast out this generation and say that they don't believe in God because they do. They have been through the fire and the flames. They've been baptized by the fire. And people say, what does it mean to be baptized by the fire? It means that they was cast into the darkness, the abyss, the void, the pain, the sorrow, the shame, the hatred, and they have come out on the other side, still strong enough to rebuke what is going on, to rebuke the enemy and what the enemy has tried to do. They have allowed themselves to grow up by the teachings of the law, allow God to be their Father and inspire them to do greater things than where they came from. They have broken the cycle of abuse. They have broken the cycle of going nowhere with their life. They have broken the cycle of ignorance. They have broken the cycle of intolerance. They have broken the cycle of being lazy and doing nothing. They have come before God and stood before God and allowed themselves to be used as instruments so that his will could be done. They didn't sit around and say, well, I don't have a mother, I don't have a father, so I'm just going to go and do what I feel like doing. They didn't turn wicked. They didn't turn themselves around and say, forget it, I'm just going to do what I want to do. This is the life that I was dealt, so that's it, I give up. They took the cards they were dealt with and they played the hand and they won. They won victory by seeking the Lord. They won victory by doing what the Lord asked them to do. That's why, to me, the 7 nations are important. It's an important teaching tool. It took me 15 years to understand that what God was trying to say is, I'm not talking about 7 physical churches. I'm talking about 7 physical groups of nations. I've divided them up, carved them up. See, look at it. Look, which one are you? Which one do you belong to? How much of the world do you soak up? How much time do you spend worshiping me? How much time do you spend listening to me? Are you really fighting the good fight? Or are you pretending for the admirers that's standing around? Are you truly trying to be a saint? Or are you just calling yourself a saint so that you can be glorified in the name of men? We have come a long way as a nation. We have come a long way as a people. We have come a long way as individuals. We have to remember the reason why we fell in love with the teaching. We have to remember why we fell in love with the law and why we obey it. We have to remember why we are different than those who are lukewarm, refusing to choose a side, sitting on the sideline. Why we have been called outcasts. Because we are different. We're different than every other person on the face of this planet. There's 7 billion of us and counting, but we are different. We are marching towards our destiny. And as the bell tolls for each of us, as we begin to walk into what our destiny is, as we begin to come out on the other side of the wilderness with our lamps and our lights, as we begin to make our way to the shoreline of forever and watch that tide crash land against the shore, we have to understand that we belong to something greater. That he who created us is a masterful and powerful and an amazing God. That he who created such perfection, that it takes so many words for us to define what we are, what we love, what we seek. We have to begin to allow our voices to shape what's ahead, to shape what is to come. It is our duty to do this. It is our birthright to stand up for the name of God. It is our birthright to not let anybody trespass against the valley of the motherless and the fatherless. It is our birthright to be our brothers and sisters' keeper. It is our birthright to be loved, for it's not a gift of a popular. It is our birthright. It is our birthright to be allowed to worship God how we please, without putting a label on ourselves and getting distracted by the labels. And I say that because as Christians, we like to label ourselves as Christians as if that solves the equation of whether we believe in God or not. It doesn't. Because Christians went on a campaign and killed so many Muslims. We had our day where we warred and warred and warred with every other religion. And we tried to kill in the name of our religion. So that other religions, they got blood on their hands. We're not about the blood. All right. Sorry about that. We're not about the blood that is on our hands. We're not about a title. It's about the love of God. It's not about whether we're Catholic or whether we're Jewish or whether we're Muslim, whether we are Buddhist or whether we follow the Kabbalah or whether we consider ourselves Presbyterian or Baptist or any other name that we put upon the churches that we go to or the synagogues or the temples or the mosques that we go to. It's about whether we believe in a higher power, whether we believe in the strength of goodness, whether we believe that we want to do something great in the name of the Creator. For if we follow back in history, the God we serve has never had a name. We gave him a name. We had to figure out how to label him and how to distinguish him away from everything else. Abraham called him the Father, the I am. We start calling him Jehovah and Allahi and Elohim and Yahweh and Yahshua. We begin to give names to him so that we can be able to recognize him in a group, but he has no name. For no man can name him because he is the first. He is the creation that created everything else. He can allow man to name everything else, but no man can name him. His power supersedes our power. His authority supersedes our authority. His authority supersedes all authority because he is authority. It's the reason why we have to understand where we stand in his name, where we stand in his presence. It's the reason why we have to mark ourselves and reveal ourselves as being loved by him. Because once we feel loved and we realize that our internal connection with him goes far beyond the flesh, we realize that we recognize his presence because we have seen him before. That our immortal form is different than our physical form. Our immortal form is more brilliant, more beautiful, more harmonious than our physical form. Adam and Eve woke up after they ate the apple to a form that was imperfect. It seemed to lack the logic of the equation. It seemed to make no sense. Everything else became a little difficult to understand. So they had to create a logic, a philosophy, a theology. They had to begin to create the stepping stones of evolution. They had to begin to evolve in their minds and understand what emotions were and what feelings were and all these other things that has gathered in our world today. Is a reason why I keep saying that we are the children of destiny. Because generation after generation after generation, they kept trying to perfect the law of God and the realization between flesh and spirit and understand what it means to be in the domain of God, to be in the presence of God, and to question whether we have been in the presence of God for these amount of years, whether our spirits are actually immortal, or whether they only came into being when the sperm met the egg. And I say to you that we know God's face, we know God because we were in the presence of God. I say that because he reminds us that we are rich, that we are not poor, that we look at ourselves as wretched and poor and lonely and afraid and unworthy. But if we knew how rich we were on the inside, if we knew how much our soul was really worth, if we knew how much our immortal existence was really worth, our inheritance, then we would walk with our heads held high. The outcast among us would not be outcasts, they'll be kings and queens. And they will know the raw honor of knowing each other as such. That wealth would be easily spread across the spectrum. That there will be no war. There will be nothing but peace. I do these messages sacrificing my voice sometimes because it's important for you to know that you are worth every single minute, every single second of my life. You're worth every breath because you are the wealth of the kingdom. And if you are lost and have not found your way yet, I want to make sure that you find your way to the heart of God, because he has enough love to pour out so much upon you. To allow you to see that you are beautiful beyond any measure. For there is nothing upon this earth more beautiful than the human spirit. There's nothing upon this earth more powerful than the human spirit. It is the reason why he says that what we consume becomes us. When we consume the orange transforms into us. We take elements, and the human element is the only element that can take other elements and transform them into life. The hamburger that you're eating, the chicken that you're eating, the fish that you're eating, all those things, you take it and you transform it into life again because of what you consume. And you give it a higher sense of being, a higher sense of intelligence. Don't allow your conscience to outrule you and exclude you from a group that you belong to. You belong to something greater. You are something greater. You are the angels that you seek, the heroes that you seek. You are the power that you seek. Be not afraid of who you are. And when it comes to the end of your life, and they say, by what authority do you seek to pass through the gates? You ask them, by what authority do they ask you? Because you come from the highest of the high. By his authority, you can go through any door. He says, knock and you shall enter. Seek and you shall find. Ask and you shall know. We were created from wisdom. We was created from love. We was created from the 7 virtues. We was created from the essence of power. So we know power. But now it's time for us to know peace. It's time for us to know love. It's time for us to know that we belong to something greater. He who has not created you cannot destroy you. Therefore, you are blessed by being who you are.